Hello everyone and welcome to July. I'm here to bring you your July general readings. I hope you're all having a great summer, and for those of you in the southern hemisphere, a great winter. We just rounded the solstice here, so we're going to bring it in through July. First off, I'm conducting a little bit of a giveaway. I love your guys' comments so much, and I want to keep encouraging the comments to stay alive and to stay inspired as we build this little YouTube channel and the community begins to grow. The number of views was down, which I'm actually quite happy for. That means a lot of people are actually out getting after it and out getting her done. So that's really good to see. But for those of you that are watching, your moon, your sun, and your ascendant signs, leave comments, inspired comments, and I may pick you to receive this Tarot of the Elves tarot just kind of at random. I want you guys to know that I read all of your comments, and I try to respond to as many of them as I can. So as well, check the description box down below. There's some new ways to get in touch with me. I'm on Instabook and Facegram and Patreon now, so feel free to get in touch with me if you would like. Please remember that these readings are for entertainment purposes only. Without further ado, let's get into it. I hope you enjoy your readings. Hello Pisces, I'm sorry your July general reading for 2017 is so late. I've had a hectic week. I cut out my fingertips at work, and then I had some issues with the sound on my camera, so yeah, it's been delayed by a couple days, and I think you guys even fell back behind Aries because I was like meditating on theirs when I realized that the sound issues had happened, and oh my goodness, it was just okay. Justice, I am telling you the truth. I have had a crazy week. What else is your other flipper? You've got Ace of Cups here. Okay, what good energy to have. Some of you may be looking at new partners or new people that have come into your life now with a little bit more acute knowledge of discernment. Maybe like the veil has been lifted on certain people in its regard to like were people being held up on a pedestal somewhat unfairly, and then it's kind of like somebody saw through that, and then everybody might have saw through that as well. When I see Justice with the Ace of Cups, and also some of you are wanting to know as well, can I cohabitate with a lover? Is like some of you may be feeling like it might be a good time to take that relationship to the next level, perhaps like move in together or see each other in terms of a shared resource type avenue of your life for something, okay? Now, the Justice and Ace of Cups as flippers and poppers, I just see it like we're looking at new people in our environment to discern whether or not they are fair, they are just, they are true kind of thing. And it's kind of like we've all been burned before, right? But we've all remained somewhat open so that the seeds of new friendships and new relationships do develop. Like, we open up our sense of trust, even, when there's that part of us that is like, what's happened before. It seems this road seems very deja vu-ish, like it can't be going anywhere good, but unless we remain open, we can't. Yeah, it's like a lottery ticket. Like if you don't have the ticket, you're not ever going to hit it, right? And I feel like we do that same thing with our trust when it comes to like finding that perfect love, finding that long-term connection, right, of things that are going on with you, all right? So that said, Pisces, I wish you all the best in comfort, joy, bliss, understanding at this moment in time. Those are my intentions, good healing intentions for the reading. Please set your intentions now as we get down some cards here to get into your reading. We'll have all these 7 down, and then we'll have a look at the bottom of the deck. And you guys have the Page of Pentacles up. Oh, this one wanted to come too. I'm going to bring it because I grabbed 2. We've got the King of Wands and the Page of Pentacles hanging out at the bottom of the deck. So what could this mean, Pisces? Are you maybe just kind of finding you're at odds, or there could be some differences between you and the people around you at present time? Are any of you feeling like maybe that situations have gotten too personal with people, too emotional at times, and like certain people are not knowing how to react, right? We take a look at what's not here in this diversity of these 2 court cards, right? There would be like in the middle there, you would normally see that cup, right? It could be a queen or a knight, right? Showing that we're like people are learning about their emotions. People may be reacting very sensitively over the next little while. And with this Page of Pentacles, it's almost showing that there's something that you can learn from it. There's something that if you kind of manage yourself through these energies and kind of remain unshaken when situations around you perhaps are, then you have a lot to benefit from it, right? Because it's almost like, picture this pentacle that she's holding here is like very fragile, very breakable, that if there was like a sudden shift in the wind or she accidentally slipped and dropped it, all would be lost, kind of thing. This is more of a metaphor of like how you are interacting and how like steadfast you can be. Vigilant even at times with Page of Pentacles is very vigilant to make sure that they are gaining those securities for themselves, making the most of what they have at present time, okay? We're going to leave Page of Pentacles. I'll try not to forget that old King of Wands is up back there. I'm not sure. That was more just so for like managing those energies, managing yourself as it goes through those energies. And as another reminder externally that people come from all different walks of life, sides of life, right? Not even just our 12 astrological zodiacs to factor in. We've got these other cultural things, other belief systems, and all this stuff that is very prevalent no matter where each one of us are in our journey, so to speak. Okay, let's have a look at grounding, see what's up for you guys here. A Four of Pentacles reverse. All right, Pisces, this is okay. I feel this is some money that you've been using for a little bit of enjoyment. You haven't been like, I don't feel like breaking the bank, but there's like certain times where you're like, oh, maybe I spent a little bit too much, right? This is like, I feel like you guys may be treating your friends to lunch, or buying a round of drinks, or a round of golf for your friends, or whatever it might be, right? So that it's like you're kind of feeling that balance, that like, okay, I'm like can be relied upon. I can be seen as trustworthy. I can be seen as somebody that takes their turn when it comes to like things of the community or sharing, right? This is like the old proverbial like muffin sale, or taking your turn, when it comes to like maybe it's soccer mom pooling, or is that like soccer pooling with other moms, right? You might find yourself in a position where it's like, well, maybe you had to cover for somebody, 2 or 3 or 4 times, and you're kind of like, well, where is that at? Where am I at with Susan and Jenny over there? They got their minivans are running fine. Like, why is there always a problem on this particular day, or that sort of thing? Or why perhaps are you on the hook for a certain responsibility again and again and again, when in the beginning it might have had to have been like a team effort sort of thing. So there's those kind of feelings that might be centering around that card at this time, seeing it here in your root chakra. All right. There's also a feeling that things are going to be a little bit more upwardly mobile than they have. I feel that for some of you, you may have had a large amount of money going out, perhaps on your first automobile, perhaps on driving lessons, perhaps on things, or even this could be like airfare and like bus fare to get where you're going, depending on what your situation is. Like, this is a big money going out actually to get somewhere, to go somewhere, okay? Four of Pentacles up in the mundane as well. This card is saying, like, if you're feeling worried, watch any bad health habits that you have when you are worried. This is like gnashing of the teeth, cracking of knuckles, these kind of things, and subtle signs of information you can pick up from yourself to actually feel where you're at, know where you're at. Are you in connection with that place of stillness in your higher self, or are you just kind of really like in the grind, literally, like when it comes to your teeth, right? And that sort of thing. Because this is a card of saying that you may be spending a bit too much time worried about stuff, right? It's in the reverse, so it's like kind of not as bad. This would be see like miserly, or like very like selfish or unwilling to like do anything. But this still carries that sort of weight of that on it. And I just wanted to mention it because health, I always look at the health part of the reading comes up through this card, right? So I just want to make sure that you guys are not feeling under too much pressure, and that you may be eating healthy, or going out and doing a little exercise to compensate for or balance it, or get it out in very physically healthy ways. Okay, Four of Pentacles there in grounding. Okay, now we've got a reversal on a Magician, one step up in the sacral area, right? Well, what could this be all about? The Magician, normally when it shows up, this is a position of a card of resourcefulness, of like accomplishing, or like alchemy, so to speak, right? When it comes like this, it means like there's a solution, that there's a realization that needs to be made. There needs to be something that is seen as like, if it's been viewed upon in the microcosm, it has to be seen as viewed in the macrocosm, right? This is a revelation. Like, if things have always seemed a certain way to you, now is a call at a time to important to see it another way, or to see it from a point of freshness, or with some new knowledge that has been gained that may not yet have been applied to a particular situation. And with this being your creative center, for a lot of you, this is going to mean like your art projects. your hobbies, the things that you do, even if it's like this thing, like a thing of self, right? Where it's like you really enjoy taking good care of yourself through maybe like yoga or Pilates or things like this. It's almost like you're ready to graduate now to like the next level of Reiki, or like maybe you're in a situation where your spiritual community or circle has grown too small or perhaps too stale, and it's time to maybe say goodbye to certain somebodies, or and introduce yourself into something a little bit more niche or a little bit more advanced, or whatever that might be. It's like these are things that need to be adhered to if you're feeling stuck energy in terms of your creativity, in terms of your ascension process, or just in terms of this identity, what I mentioned about being in that stillness and talking to your higher self. If you're feeling like there's some achievement or some realization that is yet to come, it's almost like we have to take the importance off it. Just like a Kundalini rising, like there's no timeline to it. You can't force it. You just have to let it occur. Because if it goes any other way, like you just like end up like Ed Norton from Fight Club just punching himself in the face, right? Like those kind of, like, you don't want to be there, right? You don't want to be doing that sort of thing. And clarity. So for some of you, this could be certain substances that have taken your creative endeavors a certain way, that maybe you're kind of looking back on them in moments of like more clear-headed visionness, and or in particular good hindsight, and say, that maybe wasn't my best work. That maybe it's time. Maybe I can't drink wine and paint at the same time, or maybe it's maybe it's time to ditch the smoke while I'm working on that perfect riff on the guitar, or something like that. Where it's like we have to realize like how healthy. And the old joke is, remember, like all the old successful musicians, they used to say, oh, well, they became famous because they sold their soul to the devil, kind of thing, right? I remember those times when people used to say that. But with this cards being up like this, I just have a feeling that somebody is like kind of working on very indie projects where they're promoting their music or their art through the internet, through places where they could be discovered. But there are certain situations where maybe they're not carrying themselves well through the visual media that kind of dominates our society of the internet. And it's kind of like, well, if your message is as such, if your vision is as such, and then how come you're not presenting in a way, or you may be presenting in a way that people might see as being somewhat hypocritical, right? This card carries hypocrisy with it. So maybe for some of you are maybe moving out of those certain situations through realizations, awareness of some things that you potentially call people out for. You may do them too, right? So that kind of thing. I'm not accusing you, Pisces, of anything at all. I'm just reading the cards and saying that's what's up in the intuition. That's what I'm sensing and feeling. All right, we're moving on up into solar plexus, and we've got the Ten of Cups up here, right? And this traditionally is the card of domestic bliss. This is the card that usually says, all right, I am feeling very much in the moment and in love with where my life has brought me and where I am. This is normally suggestive of a person who is surrounded by people that they share their love with. It's not love going out one way and not being returned. This is like a circle of love, very much a cycle of love with Ten of Cups here. So to see this up in your intuitive side, some of you I feel may be making huge sacrifices at this time for your family, for the people that you love. And it's kind of like you're doing so with such a big heart and with such a smile on your face that it's like you're finally trusting in karma, and it feels so good. You're finally trusting in that like wish fulfillment of like, you know what, it's only one step away, or it's only one day away. But while I'm here today, look at all of this positivity that I have the potential to spread around, right? As long as it doesn't deplete you, as long as it's not like getting you out and where it's like you're stretched too thin, because maybe now just for doing it the people you love, now you're doing it for the people that you love who are friends with, kind of people that you knew, from that thing last fall, right? So it's like, oh, we gotta be careful of that, right? We want to make sure that these things are defined and that people in our life are being truly grateful, truly gratuitous for the good things that we're doing for them, right? Because simply, no matter how you express your love, whether it's through gifts, whether it's through the spoken word, whether it's through the act of lovemaking, whatever it might be, those, I thank you very much. Those, I really appreciate you. Those, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Those are like, we should be expressing those like almost like hourly, like every other minute kind of thing, right? Because those are like that's the microcosm of the macrocosm, right? Where we talked about seeing that before. It could be a large portion of that, right? And the feeling is that you're dealing with people. It's kind of going to be a very busy time. People coming by, people stopping in, people needing to make or keep appointments to discuss things about other people, right? And it's got that kind of energy surrounding it, Pisces, okay? Let's go up and see what's going on. In the heart, we have Nine of Swords. Okay, this is a tough one to see through because I felt the energy so light around you and so close. But of course, in a general, as we move through the three cards, some people are being like, that is my wish. That's my dream. I want 10 of Cups. I want to have a Kundalini awakening. I want to be in a situation where I'm always helping others, right? And you may be just feeling a little isolated and feeling maybe a little bit unwanted in certain things. And I understand that, Pisces. And we understand this as a part of growth, as a part of needing to change. Remember when we saw in this Magician reverse, some of you that would just be needing to change your circle, your spiritual tribe, so to speak. I saw it with this card. But for some of you, that this could be like more of your circle of friends. Or this could be actually going out and attaining some new friends. Maybe some of you have gotten to a point where you've been very independent. You've been burnt in the past. We talked about that. And maybe you have been a little bit guarded, Pisces, for quite a long time now. For the single Pisces, that is, right? And it's like, this is a time with a Cancer, Sun in Cancer, where it's like these sensitivities will be coming to the surface. If you're longing just for like anything right now, or just something more than just a simple seclusion or a night with the cat kind of thing, it's kind of saying to you, well, we need to go out. We need to make sure that we are not shutting ourselves in. And this starts in the mind, because if we're in a point where we've shut ourselves in on a physical level, maybe lock the door to our bedroom or our house, and we only come out when we need to get groceries or gasoline, right? It's like maybe there needs to be that shift. If you can find the time, if you can gather up the strength and the energy to like search things through your local independent communities. There's usually a couple college kids on the radio station late at night talking about it, or there's usually some festival that you only hear about in the back of some different publication that's not mainstream, and then you go down, you find really authentic, awesome people to spend your time with, to introduce yourself to, and to be with, because they are accepting and knowing that our journeys are difficult and that we do sometimes stall out along the way. I'm going to ask for some clarity about this Nine of Swords up here, right? Some of you could be grieving over a relationship that you may have thought was like going super well, and then something could have broken all apart, like right in front of you. Some, like your potential partner or the partner you were about to go to the next level with did something incredibly stupid or incredibly dumb, right? Because this, I'm not forgetting about this, right? This management, this fragility that we saw here. For some of you, Pisces, I feel like there was like almost a relationship make it or break it hour, and some of you made it and some of you unfortunately wound up on the break it side of it, right? Because I see these cups together. Like these don't belong together, even though they're 9-10, right? It's kind of like hearts and spades, right? You just immediately, you know the difference. Immediately you see the difference in those two suits, right? So let's take a look and see what's going on. Now we've got Four of Swords up here, so this is exactly what I was talking about. Some of you are definitely have been within for quite a while, and it's okay as long as when you're going within, you're doing this work for self, where you come out of it where it's like, this is no longer a problem. We are healed, we are healthy, because we have gotten rid of these things out of our mind, or we have learned through meditation how to still our mind, and so that these things cannot affect us emotionally or physically for that matter, right? So Four of Swords is saying, Pisces, if you've been on the bad end of a breakup here, it may be time to like make sure we're going into a place where like nobody can bother us, and we're just like, and too much isolation sometimes is not always good. You want your good friends around there, but what I'm saying is what you need to like physically rest your mind, and that happens through the yoga meditation, right? It's the only kind of way out of what I'm seeing here with 9 to 4 of Swords, right? And my heart goes out to you on this one. It's never easy when someone says, I don't want to hang out with you anymore, or you know what, they point out, or even when they say, it's not you, it's me, and you're just like, clearly you have wasted my time here, you jerkazoid. And then, you have to move on. You have to pick up the pieces. You have to clean up on aisle 7, please, right? And it's just like, oh my goodness, so this is more time and energy wasted. As long as you can find a way to let this go at night, it's going to be a tricky one, Pisces, because it's like this, you're very emotional as well too, right? At this time, I feel and it's like this mental emotional cycle that happens, right? We are very clear about how what our emotions mean to us. So sometimes our emotions will trigger thought patterns that become very cyclical, and it's tough to sometimes get out of those until you learn to quiet your mind from those things. Okay, and this is showing up in your heart chakra, but it's all mind, right? So that crossover, that connection, finding that combination to balance those things, fit them in there, and get them spinning at the same time, same speed, same everything. That's the key. That's the harmony that we're looking for there. And we always ask for healing messages in my readings, right? So some of you got a broken heart, and that's okay. It's okay to heal. It's okay to cry. It's okay to do your thing, to release your energy in very positive ways, okay? And I'm sorry that I spent the first reading talking all about the good things that people were doing for others and their kids and whatnot. Maybe you're there with no kids and you're like maybe mid-30s and you're just feeling like, God, it feels like I've been through this cycle, or I just can't crack the code of what's going on here to figure out how to actually have that. Universe might also be saying is like, maybe you haven't got it yet because there is much more intended for you, or that you may find yourself that there is a better journey to even be had in these days and times, where domestic bliss, intuitively you could be feeling that you want it, or some of you may have that feeling where it's like 10 of cups. Is it all cracked up? Is it the same as it was for my parents or my grandparents? Well, the answer is probably not. We live in some crazy, funky, fast-moving times here, people, and it's just like, well, we always have to question the legitimacy of why the universe might be blocking certain things from coming into our life, and realizing, is a simple shift in consciousness needed to get around this expectation we have, or this desired outcome that we place this importance on. Okay? That's how I feel about that. We've got another 9 up here, 9 Pentacles. We were talking about the singles. All right. Maybe if you got a Pisces friend, call them on the phone, see what they're doing, get them out of their house and say, hey, why don't you come down and play some bingo with us, or let's go eat some chicken wings and tartar sauce over there at the old fireman's pub, or whatever it might be, right? With 9 Pentacles, you kind of got to get up and out the door and move, and I feel, when this card's up in your communication. It's like, you know, self-affirmations are good, but you want to kind of get to that point where, well, wouldn't it be really nice to just have someone just to shoot the breeze with, just to say what's up? And, you know, you can make it as intellectual or as dumbed down as you want it. If it was just a simple thing of like, let's go and get and do this together because it's something we both enjoy, and then you go there, you do it, you maybe grab a quick coffee on the way, drop each other off, see you next Tuesday, right? Because, no, that came out wrong. See you next Wednesday. And then you just kind of go your own way for a little bit. At least you got out of the house. At least it was something to do. You may not even enjoy this person's company for more than an hour or two, but you know what? It's worth maybe just saying, hey, what's going on? Let's go catch a ball game, or let's go do this, right? And then when it's over, it's over. There's no expectations. And we can learn to not cling to desired outcomes of expectations when we start throwing ourselves out there and getting ourselves into positions where we're doing things together with people, because everything should kind of have that element of like, there's this unexpected surprise. You know, the regulators these days, they want to wrap us in bubble wrap so that nobody can ever get hurt or go out and do their own thing. But heck, when we see these 9s up in this reading, that's what life's all about. That's what life's all about, collecting more acumen when it comes to adversities we have conquered, so we take that back to the Akash, and then the next time when we come to live a beautiful, sentient life, we are clearly connected and enabled to move through these last challenges with no problems, and even get onto a greater progression or a greater, better experience when it comes to living, right? Okay, and that's 9 Pentacles. I'll stop on that because I feel like I started ranting that the intuitive was just like very single. All I was really seeing was like a white line on the highway, right? Or yellow or white line on the highway. I don't know which side of the road I was on, but anyways, that's that point of singularity. And some Pisces, you might have been kind of on your own for so long now that you maybe just are coming into this acceptance, like, you know what, maybe there isn't any point in getting out there and having that, being tied down by people. Maybe you just don't want that anymore. And you know what, God love you, because that in essence is people for a significant time, power, decade or two in their life, they take it all in and they say, all right, I'm going to move through this world, through this society, and through this earth with my own energy and my own purpose going forward. There's no social norms. Well, just there's the law, right? You got to do it within the confines of the law, or you just go to jail. But, it's like you want to go through and go about it in a way where it's like, wow, it's like the life that the retired people live, like pensioners. If you're over 65, you'll know what I'm talking about, right? Because it's kind of like once you're not obligated to punch that clock, or the kids, they'd rather be, out living their lives with their successful careers and family. You've finally got that freedom to go out there and do it, right? So I feel there's Pisces looking in from a lot of different angles and from a lot of different perspectives for these 2 weeks. You guys are at different places. It would almost be rare to be like, I'm a Pisces. Oh, wow, I'm a Pisces too. Wow, have you been feeling this lately? They'd be like, no, absolutely not. I've been, over here doing this thing, and I'm actually caught up in this right now. It's kind of that scattered stuff that's coming over here with this Magician reversed, right? And all this kind of different. We've got, we're just waiting on a wand, and then we'll have every sign, right? Or every suit. The Magician carries them all anyways, but all right, I digress. Let's move on into third eye, pineal gland. What's up? Seven of Cups is what's up, all right? So decision, we just talked about that. It's almost like I'm playing blind tarot here. I didn't see the card, but we talked about all these different things, right? So as it relates back to what we were talking about, where do you choose? Where are you coming from? That kind of at times defines where we're going, right? We have to oftentimes look at where our heart has been. And with the Six of Cups, you do that and you're nostalgic. And then as it comes to seven, it's like, okay, now you're turned back and you're facing forward. And because we've looked at several past memories, we can see several glimpses of variations of the future. And that's really cool when that happens, and especially up in the pineal gland, because when you can get an inner vision of what it is that your heart and emotionally you truly want and you truly desire and where you want to be, that is kind of like, that kind of sits you down for a minute, and it kind of makes you go, I think I'm going to try to do more of this with my time. Or I'm going to try and see things from this point of view just for a little while, right? Or there may be times where I wish to connect with these certain people again just to find out a new perspective of where they've been or where they are at. And this could happen to, like, I see people maybe sending emails or writing letters to people they haven't seen for a long time. Like maybe there was somebody you went to college with, and yeah, it's probably been 7 to 10 years since you spoke to this person, but boom, all of a sudden there's the Facebook message, and you're just like, oh my goodness, what, that was out of the blue. So you spend a little time doing that, and that could lead you into a realization of something new. Maybe that person tells you they work in a field that is just like completely blows your mind, or maybe they're only a city or two away and you feel like traveling down there for just do a little sightseeing and meet somebody for the second time all over again, kind of thing, right? So we saw these people in the start of the reading. So some of this could be with people reaching out, or those synchronicities where it's like you haven't thought of that person in months, and then boom, all of a sudden your phone rings and there they are. It's like, that's incredible, like, stuff to see come up there. Okay, really very good energy. I just feel like you guys might just be like pulling yourself out of like a bit of a heartache, and some of you might just be feeling a little bit lonely and having trouble seeing the blessing of solitude right now, because it seems like overwhelming. But have heart, Pisces. These are positive cards, even though they're looking very scattered and very weird. They are actually, the feeling I have is still like uplifting. Like there's like an angel like picking me up by the armpits, being like, this, don't slouch. This is good. I should be, as a reader, more excited about what I'm seeing here, right? Okay. Because look, oh wow, we've got the world, right? As an outcome, in from source. Mind you, it is reversed. The world is a subtle reversal. So it's almost like here we go. We need to pick our game up. We need to elevate, whatever that might be. Elevate or change. Surprising that this wasn't actually card number 13, Death card, indicating a change, because some of you may be fighting something that is a change that was destined or fated to happen due to the fact that you could have been holding on to something, or you were still in a clearing energy of, getting rid of some bad intellectual habits, I feel. All right, so with this Magician in this world, it's time for you maybe to leave people that are pulling you down, dragging you down, or at the very least, with what we saw with this Nine of Pentacles, get in and get out. If it's taking you time to break ties with someone because you want to be fair, you want to be just, but you feel like, okay, well, I need to move past this. I need to move on. Make sure whatever it is, those dealings, you kind of get in, you get out. We have to kind of be very careful of anybody like latching on too tight. Stage 5 clingers and energy vampires at this time. If you notice that, you gotta get out of that very quickly. All right, and I did mention that because like as soon as I lifted this card, I remembered this one was here in clarity. Right, so we gotta make sure that we're seeing the world from a place of purity within ourselves, so that we can sort of integrate ourselves into higher levels of consciousness and higher levels of energy as we go on down the road, and we do change up those circle of friends, and we do continue to serve the ones we love with passion and integrity, in full knowledge that the karmic cycle is always continuing, just like we said. And if we were to see this world here under the 7 of Cups, this is like you guys just hit the button that sends you right to the very end, and you're the winner. You don't have to go through any of the other stuff anymore, right? Where it's like they just give you the rest, or they let you pass on the rest, whatever that might be, okay? But there's still something I feel, however subtle it might be, that, and it could be mental very much, that we are just, and it could be like a physical substance abuse or like a hypocrisy, and it's subtle, it's minor, whatever it might be, but there's something that's just kind of gripping at you still. For some of you, it could be this sort of loneliness, this sort of like I feel like nobody's real. I feel like nobody gets me, and I feel like nobody like really is in it for a mutually beneficial relationship anymore. Some of you could be having those thoughts, which are kind of like a little more scorpionic, but it's like kind of as your sister sign, you might just kind of feel that as well. Like where are all of the real people, right? All right. Don't let me forget to give you an oracle card. Jeez, I almost forgot. I was just pulling myself out of tarot for a minute, and I was about to say goodbye, and then it's like, ding, ding, you dumb, you haven't given them their oracle card yet. So let's have a look. And it's not because I didn't want to. I totally want to. I just forgetful. We've got 52 Mending. Interesting. One of the other signs had this, so there may be crossover for somebody that you're feeling. I can't remember what sign it was. So we've got 2 little angels there. They're sitting in, it looks like, on the spool of thread, and they're refabricating up whatever it is that was broken, or maybe they're making something from scratch. I don't know. It's kind of a cool looking card. Let me just find the page, and I will read from this card. 52 is a notable number, right? When we look at our modern deck of playing cards and we're related to tarot. Just I'm kind of giving you a little babble as I find the page. Yeah, but unless you include the jokers, then there's what, 54? Something like that? Okay, here we go. 51, what comes after? Sorry, guys, I'd have the page picked out if I knew which card was coming to fly out of the deck, but I don't. So, forgiveness, making amends, healing after arguments. Each time we are hurt and allow the hurt to pass through us without understanding and integration, we accumulate an unwanted burden. This keeps us chained to the very things we need to heal: the pain, the memories, the echoes of resentments, and the arguments that we rehearse over and over. Now is the time for mending rifts, healing wounds, and letting go of the old hurts in order to reclaim your power. Now is the time to forgive, to release, to make peace, and to make amends to others. Set yourself free. Okay, how true is that? I'm like the dingus reader of the year for not seeing forgiveness in these 2 cards. It's like hitting me clear as day now, right? Like that's what it is, like for a lot of you. And that could be that one little thing that's holding you back, where we saw it was like a hurdle, a letting go, or something of that. And right, and you have the choice to do this. You have the choice to like extend that out, and move on from those certain things where you're healing and you're forgiving those old things, even within yourself, to make all of this happen and to get this world eventually like that. Ding, ding. That's where you want to be, in essence, like at the end of it all, right? So very close, Pisces, very close to feeling completely liberated and beautiful. But we're just going through this last little bit of healing. And it could be new stuff that's happened, unfortunately, for some of you. Okay, I'm going to let you go on that. And I hope you all do well and are having a great summer. I love you lots, and we'll see you next time.